Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we got a DVD tier list here. This one's kind of a small, quicker one, but I figured why not? Let's talk about it with the 2v8 mode coming out in Dead by Daylight. These are all the special modes and how fun they were, how everything they were about. We just got done with the Twisted Masquerade. I feel like a lot of the games were like because any event kind of brings out a little bit more sweat on both sides because people are trying to speed run. And then if you play the last day of the event is probably one of the most fun that it's ever been because I played pretty much throughout the event. I did not enjoy my time. Probably would have put this in D tier, maybe C tier. And then the last time I played, and I got a bunch of friendly killers and a bunch of good survivors. And overall, I thought the event was about middle of the road. I think it was pretty good. Some of those things that happen every time you got either two hooks or two gens kind of could be broken, like the exposed one and even the speed one. I feel like because we got the speed bonus, but then also the killer did, it just kind of evens out. It's kind of pointless. And then like the exposed heal one is just kind of pointless for survivors because unless you're on the ground, which was kind of cool, you're getting exposed just pretty much just makes you one-shottable anyway. So if you were healed, it didn't really change anything. And I don't know if it had. I never ran into a plague, but I wanted to know if it ever like cured your sickness or not. So if anybody knows that, please tell me because that's kind of an interesting one. Next up is the lights out modifier where it was completely dark. That was an actually really cool modifier to it. I want to say there was also no perks during that time. It's been a while since I played that one. But the lights out one really did make it scary because I think there was like no sound effects and like no heartbeats and no scratch marks and anything. So there was a lot of jump scares. It really was a horror thing. I think it should definitely be their go-to October thing to do it. Like at least as an extra mode because it's so good and so scary. I'm gonna put it in A. Wouldn't quite put it in S tier because a lot of it was kind of still a disadvantage. I play Survivor most of the time, so some of my stuff is just more Survivor oriented, and I feel like the Survivors definitely had a hard time with it. Um, yeah, that's all I can say. Next up is My Little Oni. It was the April Fool's mode where everybody was playing as the survivors were Dwight and they were super small. And but were you just Dwight? Yeah, I think it was just Dwight. And then there was a giant Oni on the map. This this mode was pretty interesting, but you played it like two or three times and then you never played it again. It wasn't anything too crazy. Obviously, pretty one-sided because that's what it was kind of into. Like, that's what it was for. And but it was an interesting, funny concept for April Fools. But if they never brought it back, I wouldn't be upset. I'm gonna put it in D. I just think it was okay. I mean, nothing special. I feel like it was a good idea to at least have it. But if they didn't have it, I don't think we missed out on anything. Next up is the Chaos Shuffle. That was fun because it just would give you a lot of different loadouts and stuff. I think it was better to face killers during that time because you didn't have to worry about the meta and you could just really get some interesting combinations that got you new perks that at least on the survivor side that I was like, oh, well, this actually is a pretty cool perk. I never really thought about using it because I have the build that I like to use, and then I used it, and other stuff. A lot of like, certain perks like why can't I think of a perk on the top of my brain? But yeah, I got a lot of new ideas and for new builds and new stuff. So I thought it was pretty good. I'll put it in S tier. I think that should be a mode that like pretty much is there all the time. It wouldn't be like a huge deal. Or I was thinking for killers and survivors to get like a blood point bonus to click on a chaos modifier, and then you get a random shuffle of stuff that's in your inventory, and then you get more blood points by running of something random. That'd be kind of cool. I don't think it really needs to have its own like necessarily mode, but you could just do it as like a modifier to the game, and killers could do it also to get extra blood points. And I think people would be pretty down, and it would kind of help with some of the meta problem on certain games because people could just have a little bit more fun and they get a little bit more blood points. So that's always good. Next up, we got the 2 versus 8, which is coming very very soon, depending on when this video comes out. Um, it's an interesting mode. Like I feel like with some of the combinations of killers, there's going to be some really deadly stuff. And when you have 8 survivors running around, you're going to hope that they can get a lot of stuff done and fast. The map's going to be a little bit bigger, so I have hope for this. Obviously, we don't know exactly where it's going to be, but on the just the overall thinking about it, I'm going to put it in A. I think it's going to be a pretty solid mode. I feel like depending on if the killers know each other. I don't know if the killers can queue together. If killers can queue together, that might be a little bit harder. I think they should be able to, but if they can't, then it might make it a little easier on the survivors, but the coordination with killers will be pretty insane if you can. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. I don't believe there was any other modes. This was just a tier list made, but like in the back of my brain, I'm like, there was another mode, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head other than like the other events and stuff. So tell me what you guys liked and disliked, and if you guys are excited for tier 2 versus 8. Bye, guys.